Woo! Welcome back. Sorry for the delay, everybody. We actually got into some shenanigans there. Apparently, one of our squads was stuck playing in a ranked game until their match time. So, fortunately, they are out of that game. We have them. It is Butler versus Hofstra for our uh, almost final game on the matchup list here. But we're just going to throw you guys right into this matchup because they're rearing to play, and I know chat's been waiting for a while. So, why make them wait, Quantum?
Indeed, why make them wait? Why make everyone wait that extra 5 minutes when you could have just thrown the game since you were losing anyway?
Okay.
Oh my
Just
goodness.
because they had a scheduled match and they knew and they started it right at the scheduled time doesn't mean we can blame them. But they're finally in the game. That's all that really matters. And we're going to see who comes out on top here as both squads actually fairly respectable in the standings, all things considered. So, regardless of our temporary feelings in this current mood state that we're finding ourselves in, should be a fairly nice matchup. It has a lot to live up to, though, historically. We've had some really good matchups throughout tonight, especially with the most recent one, Cincinnati edging and RIT just edging out each other.
If the Rocket League gods know any divine punishment is to come, you know this is a 3-0, right? The karma is going to hit the fan here, and we're gonna see a 3-0.
We'll have to see, really, if the gods really do listen or stars blindly run in the Rocket League mythos. But we'll see if anything really does come out as both teams kind of just throwing the ball around, seeing what sticks so far. As Butler's going to try another clear out, but Magic with the cutout and the air dribble. Do they have a double? They do not. Arc has the follow, though. Kai saved the side. Happy Camper's just going to retreat back a little bit and hold this ball up. Another touch actually might spell a little bit of trouble, but deflection will be able to be gotten away with, and both teams keeping their cards close to their chest here, not showing too much, but at least both teams starting to kind of open up to each other a little bit.
Happy Camper trying to put that towards the front now. Both teams really feeling each other out. We haven't really seen this all night where we've had a feeler game. This time we're having a feeler game here. And now they're just trying to see what they could push with here. Up until we're going to see the first goal. Then we're going to see both teams really go all out here and show what they can do. Maybe not show their entire hand, but show most of it anyway. At least 4 out of the 5 cards.
Okay, and now Kai's going to have to try to build something out of this one, but Arc will be able to slap that one away. Sir Aaron tapping that around. Happy Camper just going to hit it to the corner, but it's going to be another giveaway. Kai up for that one on the back post, and they'll put one away. Butler on the scoreboard first.
Butler on the scoreboard first. Halfway through this game, just about, right? And Kai's going to find that nice back wall pass, and nothing Arc can do there. He's pushed way up against the close post and had to rotate back, and no way he was able to make that save.
So now it's Hofstra trying to improvise a little bit. They've had some success on stream in previous games, but they're really not finding it here as a second goal comes in. Big A putting that one away, and it's just no one there on the defense.
That is quite the goal there. Finds it off of the ceiling. And once again, Hofstra just seem a little bit scrambled. They don't seem to be in proper position. Because of that, Butler is able to find that ball first, when really it should be a ball that Hofstra can find first.
Kai with a great pass in the middle. Sir Aaron is there, and they're going to bury a third Hofstra. When it rains, it pours, and they are stuck without an umbrella. They have no answer so far.
And Butler finds the back of the net. And Big Ehi is a sub-in, right? Because Astru's, I do believe, is their normal player. And currently, apparently has COVID. So, big sad for them, right? And hope you get better and you get well soon, right? But so far, your team's just looking pretty good. So, I wouldn't exactly be worried. I mean, they absolutely threw off their opponents by making them wait 20 minutes, but other than that, I think they're showing up pretty well as well.
I'm just gonna assume it was just next level mind games. It wasn't being discourteous. It was really just it's like icing, but like before anything even happens. Just making them kind of cool down a little bit and seeing what happens from there as they get a nice bump there on the backboard. Big A, no touch. Kai will tap it around. And as game one goes, this is just as chaotic as I really expected, as ball's ricocheting around and both squads trying to chase the ball down. But ultimately, it just really feels like Butler's able to keep this ball moving a lot more effectively than Hofstra's able to really clear it out and give them some space.
3 goals on the board. That might make it a 2-goal difference, but it's going to be put away. Arc gets demoed as well. That ends the offense, but that is such a huge mistake. And they cut back to 2 goals.
That's a tough one, sir. Just trying to... This is another kind of example of a ball that it's something you can touch, but maybe necessarily shouldn't. And unfortunately, that one will be tapped right into the middle. And nice kind of predator instinct coming in from Hofstra, being able to put that one away. Speaking of, what are these goals? Just magic. Tap it in the middle, and Happy Camper, just easily as you like, just walks it in.
What are these possessions, Siren? What are you doing? Just right there. You need to push that. What? Respect the shot. Your teammates aren't there. You need to slow it down. No. What is that play?
Feels a little bamboozly, where, I mean, they'll get it right back. I mean, creating the defensive error, and this time offensively gets on back, but both teams playing a little clunky on defense. Just, I don't see the challenges coming in. Maybe they're waiting for something else, but passivity has a price at times.
Yeah, it's definitely a passive game. Saren there putting it into the back of the net, saying sorry for the earlier play, but there's no respect for these shots whatsoever, right? The players on both teams, right? This isn't just Butler, this isn't just Hofstra. They're both just staying back in the net and waiting for the shot to come in instead of respecting the shot and trying to 50 the opponent who has the ball, which is tough, right? Because that's normally what we see, and instead we're seeing a lot of offense because of this. We see a lot of just shots on net that you just wouldn't see. Instead of the ball being stuck in the midfield, the shot is on net. That one almost gets in as it's stopped by Siren there. Beautifully played. And that's going to allow Butler to win this first game, but that is a weird game. That is... leaves a bitter taste in my mouth, honestly.
It's a little closer than I would expect it, but it's clunky all around, for sure.
It is a very clunky game, honestly. I think that was the bad part about it, right? We saw even the lower tier games, right? Obviously, I'm not saying that North Dakota and their opponents that they beat earlier today, William and Mary, are necessarily bad teams, right? But they aren't the top teams, right? They're at the bottom of the standings, right? And so we expect them to make more mistakes. These guys are in the midfield charts, right? They're much higher than William and Mary and North Dakota, and yet both of those technically lower tier teams have shown a lot more grit, less mistakes. These are mistakes you don't see out of GCs normally.
And you're talking about with Butler, they are 3rd in the Big East, but Hofstra 3rd in the Eastern Conference for themselves. So within their respective conference, both formidable teams, even if the overall standings might separate them a little bit. So Hofstra coming out with a nice fire there. It's nice to see them start a game 2, reminding that squad, hey, you might have gotten that game number 1, but not necessarily the rest of them are going to be a walk in the park, as Magic trying consistently to be a thorn in the side as he chases down another ball, with Arc trying to combine, but Reflection's going to go fairly deep. No touch there, but Kai not there to punish. Sir Aaron there for the shot. That's going to be a great angle. It's going to be a phenomenal placement for the goal.
Beautifully played, popped up off of a great pass, bar down and in, and right off the crossbar too. The corner crossbar, I should say. So that just angles itself straight into the middle, and that is beautifully done. Beautiful placement, beautiful goal.
Now everything tied up. It's really on both these teams now to try to settle in and play a little bit more stable, as Magic will just lift it right over that last defender. And second last player, a little shook. They were not anticipating that player getting beat.
And Hofstra once again take the lead. Again, not really a respect to the shot, right? No one's really pushing up with these shots. They're up in the air, and it just doesn't feel like there's respect between these teams, right? Like they're expecting to be mistakes, and when there aren't mistakes, right, they get burned. Both teams are doing this, and that's the weird part. Normally, I wouldn't notice this, right? Maybe it's been happening all season long, and I just haven't noticed, right? But with the great amount of games that we've had today, right? Every single game so far, every single series has been a banger, right? It's been close, and we've seen quite the series after series. This one just leaves a bitter taste. Ooh. I don't know. As it makes it a 3-1 goal, 3-1 game. Arc, that's a 3v1 for Magic there. A bad clear for Sir Aaron. And no one in the net to defend this.
It's a very classic type of punish from kind of something similar that we were seeing in the previous game when we were looking at RAT in Cincinnati, where you're seeing a player just kind of throw the ball away and it just gets shoved right down the defense's throats. And sometimes you just don't have the boost to bail them out. And right there, Sir Aaron trying to get a flick. Instead, it rolls straight down the middle and it's punished. And now Magic, another ball just in the middle, uncontested, and those are going to get put away. So what started as kind of a lead kind of given away is now starting to become somewhat of a runaway lead for Hofstra. There's 3 minutes remaining and they're showing no signs of stopping.
Well, I mean, you look at that play, right? Going up in the air, that was the last man back with the ball there, right? And the last thing he expected was someone to push him, and that's exactly what happened. The shot was respected, and that turned into a goal. So normally, you need to know that shot is normally going to be respected, right? Someone's going to go up for that. That's exactly what happened there, and Hofstra take full advantage of the fact that the net is, for some reason, wide open.
Kind of an awkward deflection there up until that last shot. Both teams, right, the picture of efficiency as they are all both shooting 100%, but it doesn't mean much when your one shot has only amounted to a one actual goal against a squad that's put 4 past you as we reach half time. It's Butler on the back foot and really not doing much to help their situation. Another ball straight down the middle. Magic lurking up for it. Big Ahe is going to hit it to the side, but Happy Camper, another one lobbed back down. A little bit of temporary relief, but midfield pressure coming in real strong for Hofstra. They're shutting down almost everything that has been started up.
And Butler, they could have started that second half a lot better if Rocket League didn't decide to Rocket League the team, because Big Ahe there got absolutely hit, right? He was in the net, he got hit, and received no knockback for some reason. Well, that could have been a goal had the defender been kicked out of the goal there, but instead it's going to be Kai here to find the goal. So no matter what, Butler will still find the back of the net here. But it's rough for them because the opportunities that they could have, right, are taken away from them either by themselves or the game.
Yeah, now we're entering into the interesting aspect. 2 goals game is definitely doable, especially when they get shots like that. Kai denied off the bar by Happy Camper. Hofstra getting away with that one. Will they have to get away with another one? A great save. This time, Arc putting it to the side and off the woodwork. So Butler starting to wake up a little bit. Big Ahe now off the bar again. And right now, Butler really getting worked by this 4th defender of Hofstra. Framework of the goal coming to the rescue time and time again.
And there you go. It's 4-2 right now. 70 seconds on the clock. What a save by Magic. And Hofstra are keeping themselves in the game with some great defense here. That shot is on net. That is not going to be stopped here. That is some great pressure being put on here. But Kai, his great shot finds the top corner.
And now the game has gone from doable to a very much impossibility. You got 60 seconds, you have 1 goal in it. And now I'm just very curious to see how Hofstra's going to deal with the rest of this game. They had quite the lead. They've managed to lose it down the stretch, but all they really have to do is just play patient and play decent defense, and they can get their ways out of this. But Butler certainly looking a little bit more lively down the stretches. Sir Aaron will get a fantastic dunk all the way across. Big Ahe keeps it dangerous. Magic taps it down on the near post, but it's just going to be hit across the face instead of on target. And Arc will be able to clear that one out, and that's going to buy him some valuable time.
Shot is on the side. That could have been a 2-goal lead there. No one's going to get it, so Big Ahe's going to get the clear out. Can he get the shot? No, he can't. 15 seconds left on the clock here. 1 goal is all that's separating both of these teams. How does that not find its way in?
I don't know, but that one's going to get denied as well. One more chance. Kai to the back post. Big Ahe, they don't have the boost, and Hofstra escapes with game number 2.
Oh my goodness. Butler. Letting in 3 that unanswered right at that point in the mid-time, at the halfway point of the game, really burned them, I think, and they tried to come back here. Hofstra just had enough in the tank to stop them because Butler did look really strong in that second half. If they were just as strong in the first 2.5 minutes as they were in the second half, they could have easily won this game.
I think it's another case of a team really playing well, but just mistakes early on just create such a tall peak to climb that you just can't surmount it over time. Like, you put forth all the effort, you almost get there, but then the clock runs out and you take a loss, even though for the majority of that game, you were playing fairly solid. So limit those mistakes, and Butler is well on their way to being able to take some W's down the stretch, but you can't just be giving away games like that. Hofstra really struggled down the stretch, but they had more than enough to really close that one out.
Speaking of Hofstra, they're on the defense right now. That's a double commit, and it's not going to be... Oh, wow, what a save by Big Ahe. Will it be all for naught, though? He's in the net again. It's way wide. Wide by a mile. And he's able to rotate back out without much issue. That is such a good play, and it turns into a goal.
And really nice finish there by Sir Aaron. They actually got a kind of a clunky flip at that one, but they got the angles right, and that's really all that matters. Back post just too far for that defender. And an opening goal to go along with it will go a long way. That is, unless they give something off the kickoff. Kai, great speed. That ball will ricochet that off of the backboard. And now Magic is going to have to play a little bit passive on this one as they misread it. And it's going to have to go all the way back to the Hofstra corner for them to try to rebuild, as they're just letting another ball come through, but this time Sir Aaron will get rewarded.
I said that the Hofstra were finally starting to respect shots, but there was no pressure on that ball. That shot, the net was completely wide open, so no wonder the scoring's been high, right? Because a lot of the time you see high scoring if there's no pressure, right? And right now there's no pressure on this ball. When someone has ball possession, there's no pressure on it. You see, they're just leaving it. They're waiting for something. I don't know what they're waiting for exactly, and it's messing with me, I think. It definitely is messing with me.
I think part of it might just be the nerves of understanding that you are playing on stream, you are being critiqued to a certain extent, but on top of that, you're playing against a team that has punished you a lot, and I think you are starting to see these teams take a little bit less risks, maybe play a little bit, maybe saying clunky, but just like kind of irregular. I don't know if they really be playing this indirect, but I know it's certainly not, I'm sure, satisfying for either of these teams, as they're giving up some interesting opportunities to each other, but we'll have to see if really those nerves start to calm, and hopefully it does soon, because for whoever wins this next game, they could be a match point, and mistakes like that just come out. Tie game off Happy Camper.
Big mistake here. The net's completely wide open. Who's that? That is... Oh, wow. That is Kai going for boost over ball. Not something that you normally see. He should have been the one going into the net. Instead, he went for the big boost pad. And you get paid. You get burnt for that when that happens. But Kai says, sorry, let me make it up. And right off the bat, right there, it's back to a 1-goal game and a 1-goal lead for Butler.
Big Ahe, just a large human, just getting that 50 and then just getting the immediate rest of their boost to get a second 50 to deflect for that pass. So very well done by the Butler player, and now marching on to a lead. Big Ahe almost gets another touch. It made Magic miss, so gonna cause a little uncertainty in the back, but Arc ultimately will be able to get that clear and another couple touches to slow it down. But Hofstra now trying to fight from behind as we have crossed half time. And both teams now, even on the series, this is for the go-ahead game. And I'm glad to see these teams, even though Butler has been fairly strong pretty throughout all these games, it's nice to see that Hofstra's starting to bring it a little bit more even. I feel like they are starting to trade a little bit more punches, and at least they're getting rewarded more for quality passes. Arc with a second.
And there you go. We're back to a 2-2 game here, Arc. A little bit more invisible on in these games so far. Not meaning that he's been doing bad, but he hasn't been the big player getting the goals. He hasn't really been the player getting the saves, right? He's been the one getting the ball cleared out of the zone and been the one setting up the goals. And so Arc, just having a little bit of camo on his car has made this game, just opened up this game.
And a nice clear from Happy Camper will be able to clear out the defense just for a little bit, give him some breathing room. Hit from Arc does not help, though, as Kai going for the double tap. Magic saves it for now, but gonna have to call in some help as Happy Camper will clear their lines yet again. 90 seconds for Butler to try and inch their lead back, and same for Hofstra for trying to take a lead in this game and maybe try to regain some footing a tad, as Butler is, I would say, been overall the stronger team, the more dangerous team, but I feel as though Hofstra isn't necessarily forcing bad play out of Butler. It's more so that they're really putting them on their toes and making them accountable for missing these saves. Magic puts in 3 for the lead.
There you go. You're talking about how Hofstra have just been... I feel like they've been making less mistakes overall. Butler is a better team, but also the more inconsistent team, right? The one who's made the most mistakes. And because of that, it's allowed Hofstra to stay in this game. And it's because of goals like that, right? And those goals are not a rarity right now for Butler to let in. But Kai, once again, answers right away. And that's been the good part about Butler, is that they've been able to answer right back.
And it's definitely the brutal part of Hofstra, is that you fight so hard, get these leads, and then it's just one minor slip up. You just give the ball off the sidewall instead of trying to control it, and it just punished immediately for Butler. So Butler showing off that clinical finishing when the opportunities present itself, and Hofstra trying to like claw, scratch, bite their way into a lead or getting these goals, or maybe just gift wrapped. But Kai, instead of giving that open net away, will be able to get that save off. And on the counter, Sir Aaron puts it off the bar, and they're gonna have to make Hofstra stretch for this one, but Kai at least keeps it interesting off the corner again. Pass in the middle. Actually, Sir Aaron's there. How is that not a clear? 4-3 Butler.
And that is... what is this? That's a backflip there. That's a miss there. That's a miss there. A triple miss that allows Saren to get the back of the net. Oh my goodness. What a goal.
I really thought that was going to be a little bit neater, but good job from the Butler third player getting on that ball, recognizing it was still going to be in a dangerous position, and defenders might hesitate, as shows that he was correct in that assumption. So 15 seconds remaining. Game has really been stolen away from Hofstra, but still time for them to play spoiler on this game. And now with a long ball down, Big A slows it down for Happy Camper, but a good touch past Arc. Trying to bring it back around. They're going to have a full court carry. Kai says no, and Butler will be pushed on to match point.
Butler just pushing past Hofstra there to force that ball onto the floor. We get ourselves a 4th game here with Butler on top 2-1.
The shots from Butler coming through. I mean, they just hit 12 in that last game compared to the 6 from Hofstra. So doubling their shot total, and I wouldn't say that's an undeserved. Sometimes you see shot totals and they don't really reflect who I would say is really dominant. Like in earlier series, like we casted this evening, we had games where there was a really high shot total, but I wasn't saying they were really quality shots. But on this one, I felt like every time Butler was marching forward, I really couldn't count them out for being able to score. I feel like Hofstra took chances when they were available, but for the most part, Butler was just hammering the net, and almost every single time Hofstra really had to stretch to make those saves.
Yeah, because those were really quality passes made towards the front of the net, right? And there were a lot of really quality opportunities that were missed. There were a lot of quality opportunities created, right? These weren't just mistakes made by Hofstra. These were opportunities created by Butler. And Butler really was able to make some space for themselves, and this win is well deserved for them because they were, as you said, the better team on the pitch.
So now going into that game number 4, we're going to have to see if Butler can truly close this one out, or if Hofstra is going to be able to pull up their sleeves and kind of play defense a little bit cleaner to shut out this squad and see if we have a game 5 maybe in the cards. But we're going to have to really find a way to just slow down this blue side, because it feels like at a certain point, Butler's just playing with their food, and if Hofstra doesn't get kind of those gifted goals down the stretch, it might get a little ugly.
It might get a little bit ugly, but the series has been quote-unquote ugly, right? Really back and forth, fighting for supremacy, really. And, I mean, Butler has been the superior team so far, but Hofstra nipping at their heels.
Certainly so, and it's really just how they can open up the defense here if they can get those passes off. That's where they found, I would say, the most success that's really made Butler sweat, is putting these dangerous balls across. No one there for Hofstra on that one, but 2 players from Butler committed. Happy Camper over the top, but Kai, unperturbed, will be able to tap that one down the line. And now the one-on-one, Arc called into action. Big Ahe tapped away, and now Hofstra has a chance to counter down. Pass in the middle, nobody. Happy Camper tapped down to the goal line, but turned away. So a little bit of ping pong happening around this field as the ball just ricochets between both teams.
And both teams are trying to find possession, but it seems like none want it. Sir Aaron finds the back of the net there. That is beautifully done. Great pass by Kai. Crossbar off the post here. Oh, that was going to go wide. Arc puts it in. Ooh.
That's some of the risks you have to take. Yeah, it's some of the risks you have to take when you have those reads. You have to jump at it. Hopefully you can get there in time. And unfortunately, sometimes that happens. You get there a little too late, and you're actually the person who is going to finish off an opportunity. But you can't rest on really those disappointments. You have to be able to come back. And so I got 3 minutes to do so. But Hofstra definitely not making it easier on themselves with that deflection, as they're trying to get some pass there turned away. Arc another deflection out, but Big Ahe ultimately yet another clear all the way down to the orange corner.
So far, just Hofstra are playing catch up, it feels, right? They're trying to find opportunities, and Butler are slamming the door shut on them right now in that front, and Butler doing pretty well. As Big Ahe gets demoed, he'll be respawned there, and he'll respawn on the right side, but Happy Camper, the shot right down, Kai with the save. Half the game left. Right now, Hofstra just stronger when it comes to when they have the ball opportunities here, but Butler just closing the opportunities when they come.
Now clapped across. Happy Camper will be able to hit that one deep downfield as this ball ricochets into the middle. Kai called into question. Another high lob all the way across the goal. Saren called into really action, but ultimately all of Hofstra retreated very deep on that, and they're going to have to march their way back upfield. Happy Camper, another lob, but it's just going to go wide again. Just really Hofstra throwing the ball on target, but I can't really say anything is causing Butler to have to actually do anything with the ball. It's really just being thrown onto the backboard and cleared away.
So far, though, is so good for Butler. But Hofstra have shown that they are deadly enough that if Butler gives them an inch, they will take the entire mile.
Now we're going to have to see if in the next 90 seconds something can come of this pressure. Magic getting a little too close. They're going to have to retreat. Big Ahe has Kai up in support. The deflection across. Magic has to get a 50 instead. Happy Camper advances it down the sideline. Arc with a little bit of a dribble. Tries to put it into space. Big Ahe on the chase. And another deflection for Hofstra. It's just going to have to work as a back pass. But all these touches are just burning off time. They need to get this ball upfield and generate some kind of scoring chance, lest Butler be able to continue that pressure. Another shot, but going to be deflected near post, and another possession play here from Butler.
And Butler are just bringing the ball back into their zone, keeping possession of it, and they haven't lost it. They've been playing so much better in this 4th game here compared to especially the first game, and the first two games were definitely not as strong. They showed up here in this game 4. They've only scored 1 goal, but their defense was so impressive here. They completely deserved this win.
Now, good communication from Kai and Sir Aaron as they leave it, but Sir Aaron doesn't get the touch he's hoping for, but doesn't really matter as long as they can keep the pressure up. 10 seconds remaining. They need to hold on to this lead. Will they build on it? It will go to the corner instead. Kai, high deflection, and now Hofstra in the position to need a full court carry, which they will not receive. Butler will close things out 3-1 after some stiff competition from Hofstra.
Stiff competition indeed, right? 1 goal game once again, right? These last 2 games could have gone either way. Butler just come out with the victory here.
It's a clean result from them. As we said, they're the better team. I wouldn't necessarily say because they're necessarily dominating this matchup, but ultimately they're getting the wins out of these games, and you can't say that they're not putting on sufficient pressure, getting ball off the framework, putting the Hofstra in awkward positions. And I think promising plays coming through from Hofstra, but ultimately one team is higher up in the standings for a reason. I think they showed it off here.
Definitely, Hofstra gave them a good run for their money, but Butler, they really got their act together. I think I was a little too pessimistic at the beginning. Maybe I was a little bit bad. Wonder why. But, hey, listen, Butler deserved this win here, and they worked hard for it, and they got it. And that's how this series ends. Hofstra still getting that 1 win. They might be happy with it, but we're going to go to a break here, and we're going to go to our next series. Let's see if the hype for UT Arlington versus Delaware is what it's hyped up to be.